From the Shire of Guelph, Ontario, this is the Fellowship of Guelphissauga.
The Fellowship of Guelphissauga continues, with the Mayor and Council of Elders visiting the ruins of Ottawa to solve the housing cost crisis. They were searching for effective policy solutions to the crisis and accountability within all levels of government. Carly of Classen was nervous about her trip and tried to dress appropriately, unlike the mayor. He was instead asking his orcish friends for help with dealing with the crisis before the Safe Space Bylaw battle hits the Shire later this month. Can Carly of Classen and the Elder Elves do anything about the Shire's housing cost crisis? And will the mayor find any accountability within the ruins of Ottawa? In St. George's Square downtown, a homeless man huddled in his tent, eating raw Mr. Noodles. He was joined by the other minimum wage earners who could no longer afford to rent a room in the Shire. They sat on the dry cement as passerbys looked the other way. Some people were offering to help, like Sir Edward at the bench, whereas others played the blame game for the Shire's growing housing cost crisis. So far, the mayor has been unsuccessful with his attempts to remove the tent encampments, ruining the view from his office window. With only the strong powers of municipal regulation and taxation, he has run out of options. The $600,000 that was laundered through the homeless hotels has disappeared, leaving the homeless back on the streets. Since he won't cut taxes, the mayor only has municipal policy as his last option and kept pushing for a safe space bylaw. After 6 months of delays and threats of lawsuits, the mayor returned to the table to flex his municipal policy powers. He said he's going to keep kicking this dead horse due to the concerns raised over the trashy conditions of the encampments downtown. Back in February, the Council of Elders had met to discuss a similar bylaw, and after a long meeting with rage quits and legal threats, the decision was delayed. They waited until April when a court case in Kingston declared that a similar bylaw proposed there was unconstitutional. Either way, the mayor proposed a meeting on August 28th at 4:00 p.m. to bring back this controversial bylaw. The people of the Shire who care about their neighbors rallied together to protest the mayor. Led by your downtown Guelph friends, they're planning to protest this meeting with a gathering in front of City Hall an hour earlier. We stand against a bylaw that unjustly targets those already marginalized, our unhoused neighbors, said Kate of Nixon, director of Your Downtown Guelph Friends. She encouraged others to write letters to the mayor and join her protest on August 28th, wearing white and purple clothing. Meanwhile, in the mayor's office downtown, the room was dark and empty. On his desk sat a pile of letters that people had written him, just like Your Downtown Friends had suggested. The 5th letter the mayor received this month was from Murray of Taylor, criticizing his lack of action. Doing nothing about this is your worst possible option, and the least responsible. So please take that off the table, he wrote. Unfortunately, that letter remained unread in the mayor's office since he had split town for the week. Along with 4 members of the Council of Elders, the mayor took flight for another vacay conference in the ruins of Ottawa. Hosted by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, this multi-day event featured discussions on homelessness, health, and their impacts on climate change. It wasn't as fancy as the events funded by Bloomberg Philanthropies, like the mayor was used to, but he still showed up for the t-shirt. He packed his favorite running shoes and pair of jeans to represent the Shire at this serious event. Whereas Kenneth Chu took a different approach and wore his best blue suit and matching shoes and belt. Carly of Classen took a middle ground, wearing a jacket over her t-shirt, but not wearing jeans. The mayor sat in comfort while waiting for the big blue orc to take the microphone. He live tweeted his speech like a little girl screaming at a rock concert. After all the excitement from the big blue orc speech, the mayor hit the buffet before going to bed. He had to be in a sober mindset the next day since he was there for a reason. The Sunshine Listers had written their 4-point plan for the mayor with a focus on the environment, health, housing, and fiscal needs. They wanted the big blue orc to throw more money at the housing cost crisis instead of turning off the immigration taps. The mayor had to figure out how to push that policy solution while ignoring the Lord of the Liberals' flood of immigrant voters. He attended workshops on virtue signaling and diversion to prepare for his upcoming bylaw meeting. The mayor hopes he can use these new skills to deflect the concerns of your downtown friends. So we shall see what happens on August 28th at 4:00 p.m. when they resume the safe space of bylaw battle. Can Carly of Classen and the Elder Elves do anything about the Shire's housing cost crisis? And will the mayor find any accountability within the ruins of Ottawa? Stay tuned here to see. This video is brought to you by people who like, share, and subscribe to this channel. You can also support my work by buying me a coffee.